Welcome back, everybody. Ready for another deep dive?
Always ready.
Well, excellent.
Yeah.
Because this time we're tackling Psalm 2
Oh.
from the Hebrew Bible.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, this is no ordinary poem.
No, it's
Some
not.
seriously powerful and thought-provoking stuff.
Really is.
We're going to break down the big themes, unpack the imagery. We're going to figure out why this ancient text still speaks to people
Sure.
thousands of years later. What do you say? You ready to jump in?
Let's do it. I'm fascinated by how Psalm 2, right from the start,
Oh, yeah.
just throws us right into this clash between earthly power and divine authority. I mean, nations raging, rulers plotting. What a way to open a poem.
Right. Talk about a dramatic opening. It really makes you wonder what was going on in the
Yeah.
poet's world. What kind of situation would inspire such a
Yeah.
powerful and, even a little bit frightening image?
Right. You've got to remember the historical context here. Ancient Israel was often surrounded by these giant, powerful empires. So this idea of rebelling against divine authority, it wasn't just some abstract concept. It was like a daily reality for them.
So they really
They
knew
knew.
what it felt like
Yeah.
to be caught in the middle of those power struggles.
Absolutely.
And then you have this incredible contrast.
Yeah.
While the nations are freaking out, plotting their little schemes,
Mhm.
God is depicted as totally unfazed. In fact, it even says he's laughing.
It's almost like the poet is giving us a glimpse behind the curtain, right?
Yes.
Showing us that God is operating on a whole other level. He's not threatened by these earthly kings and their little rebellions.
He's got the bigger picture in mind.
Absolutely. And that's where this concept of the anointed one, or the Messiah, comes in.
Oh, tell me more about that.
Well, in Jewish tradition, the anointed one was seen as God's chosen representative on earth, destined to rule and establish justice. Think about figures like King David. They were believed to be specially chosen by God for this very purpose.
So it's not just about some vague hope for the future. It's rooted in their actual history.
Exactly. And that history plays a huge role in shaping their understanding of leadership, justice, and what it means to be in right relationship with God.
And then, boom, we get to this pivotal moment in Psalm 2. God makes this bold declaration, "You are my son, today I have begotten you."
Talk about a power move.
Right. But what does it all mean?
Well, that phrase, "today I have begotten you," has been interpreted in so many ways throughout history. Some scholars believe it's pointing to a specific historical king, while others see it as referring to a future messianic figure. There's even a whole theological debate about whether it's about a literal father-son relationship or something more metaphorical,
It's amazing how such a short phrase can spark so much discussion.
isn't it? And that's what makes studying these ancient texts so fascinating. There's always more to uncover, more to debate, more to learn.
Exactly. And speaking of uncovering, I'm really curious about this imagery of the king shattering nations like pottery.
Yeah.
On the one hand, it makes me think of justice being served, the bad guys getting what they deserve. But on the other hand, it's a little intense, isn't it?
Yeah, I can see that. It's a reminder that divine justice can be a complex and even unsettling concept. It's not always pretty or easy to swallow, and I think that's okay.
It definitely challenges us to think about how we view power and how it should be wielded.
Exactly. It forces us to ask some tough questions about our own ideas of right and wrong, good and evil.
And then, almost as if to offer a way out of this conflict, the tone of the psalm shifts. God directly addresses those rebellious rulers with a mix of warning and invitation. He says, "Serve the Lord with fear and trembling."
Wow. Powerful words.
So much packed into that one line.
It really is. What do you think the poet meant by that?
I think it's about recognizing God's ultimate authority and power. It's about understanding that we're not in control, that there's something much greater than ourselves at play.
And that recognition can be both humbling and terrifying, but it can also be incredibly freeing.
Because it takes the pressure off.
Yeah, exactly. It allows us to surrender to something bigger than ourselves, to find refuge in something that offers true security and peace.
Okay, but how do we apply that idea of taking refuge in God to today's world? It's not like we have kings and empires constantly battling for power anymore, at least not in the same way.
That's a really good question. I think maybe it's about identifying those things in our lives that we tend to put our trust in our careers, our possessions, our own abilities, those things that we think give us control and security. And then asking ourselves, are these things truly reliable or are they ultimately fleeting and temporary?
So true refuge then might come from aligning ourselves with something more enduring, something that transcends our own limited perspective.
Exactly. Something that offers a deeper sense of purpose and meaning.
Wow, that's a powerful thought. So Psalm 2, it takes us on this journey from rebellion and chaos to a place of surrender and hope. It's a reminder that true power doesn't come from dominating others, but from aligning ourselves with a force greater than ourselves.
And for me, that's the beauty of this ancient text. It continues to challenge us to grapple with these big questions of power, justice, and our place in the universe. It invites us to find our own understanding of what it means to live in right relationship with God and with each other.
Absolutely. It's a conversation that's been going on for centuries, and it's one that I think we all need to be a part of.
I couldn't agree more.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive. We'll see you next time.
See ya.